In the vast, unpredictable savanna of global finance, a new species has emerged, the Bitcoin Maximalist. But today, we observe the ancient rivalry between two subspecies. First, the boomer. A creature of habit, they find comfort in things they can drop on their foot, like gold bars or a 401k statement printed on actual paper. To the boomer, digital gold sounds like a magic trick performed by someone who doesn't own a tie. They prefer assets that exist in 3 dimensions. Their mantra, if I can't bury it in the backyard next to the rose bushes, is it even real? It's a valid question for a generation that remembers when bread was a nickel. Then, we have Gen X, the bridge generation. They grew up in the analog shadows, but were forged in the fires of the early internet. Gen X understands that value is just shared consensus. After all, they're the ones who survived dial-up internet and the transition from VHS to DVD. They're skeptical by nature, mostly because their parents forgot them at the grocery store once, but they're tech literate enough to trust a decentralized ledger. The conflict reaches its peak during the ritual known as Sunday Brunch. Here, the boomer asks, but where is the manager of Bitcoin? The Gen X response is usually a deep existential sigh, followed by a 45-minute explanation of SHA 256 that no one asked for. The boomer trusts institutions. The Gen Xer trusts the math. It's a fundamental shift from in God we trust to in code we trust. But even the savvy Gen Xer lives in fear of the seed phrase, 12 words that stand between them and generational wealth or a lifetime of regret. The boomer laughs. They have a safe deposit box. They have a guy named Greg at the bank. Greg has a mustache. Greg is reliable. Greg isn't a line of code. Then there's the volatility. To a boomer, a 10% drop is a national emergency. To Gen X, it's just Tuesday. They survived the dot-com bubble. This is just nostalgia. It's a battle of philosophies, the tangible versus the intangible, the centralized past versus the decentralized future. Boomers see a mining rig and think it's a very expensive space heater. Gen X sees it as a printing press for the 21st century. Soon, the greatest wealth transfer in history will take place. Gold bars will be traded for private keys, dusty ledgers for block explorers. Will the boomers ever truly get it? Probably not. But then again, Gen X still doesn't understand why their parents keep the plastic on the sofa. It's about legacy. One generation wants to preserve what was, the other wants to build what could be, and both are terrified of losing the password. At the end of the day, we're all just trying to make sure our children don't end up living in our basements. Bitcoin is just the latest tool for the job. Time, much like the block height, only moves in one direction. Forward. Whether you have a physical vault or a digital one, the clock is ticking. So, choose your side. The gold standard traditionalist or the sovereign individual futurist. The savanna is large enough for both. For now. This is Ananya for Global Crypto AI Pulse. Keeping an eye on the pulse so you don't have to check yours every time the market dips. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and for heaven's sake, write down your seed phrase.